We want to not necessarily create a finished or composed dish. We want to give chefs a tool in their toolkit that they can take any which way.
So I can imagine that would make a great addition to a salmon Caesar salad.
Yeah, of course.
It's all the nutrition you need, but it's plant-based, just like the salad part.
Yeah, exactly. Plants
It's 100% plant-based.
Price tag's still on there. And the name brand of the shirt.
All right, everyone, welcome to a new episode of Fish Factor. We are live at the National Restaurant Association show in Chicago, 2026. I think it's the fourth time I've been to this show. How many times have you been here?
3 times.
3 times.
You got me beat.
Okay, I wasn't trying to beat you on that one. I got Chris Bryson here with me today from New School Foods. We have just met today. The company's new to me, so I'm learning about it.
Yep.
And what we're really trying to do is bring people on the podcast that, they're in the industry, they're near the industry, they kind of touch what we do. We've got tech companies, we've got food companies. We just had Rock and Wagner Bread, that's our bread company. I have not had a plant-based seafood company on. Is that a fair description of what you do?
Yeah, it is, and I'm thrilled to be the first.
Yeah, you are. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Start with your origin story.
My name's Chris. Started the company about 4 years ago, really because when I was looking at the plant-based market, I sort of felt that things weren't headed in the right direction. Crazy idea.
What is
right?
that? Okay, things.
Well,
which things are going in which direction?
So if you talk to most people
Yeah.
who've tried a plant-based product, chances are they've been let down. They were really excited about the products, but either they didn't like the taste or the texture or the ingredients or the price. And so we started the company because we wanted to address some of those problems. We wanted to create more authentic tastes and textures, better nutritional profiles.
Yeah.
Something that really worked for the culinary industry, first and foremost.
Okay.
Most of what you've got so far is like burgers and nuggets, but what about an entree? What about something that a chef likes to work with that they can take in any direction? So that's kind of why we got started.
So what's your background to even know how to do that? It's just really hungry, or is it science? Or
My background is in no way irrelevant. So I came from the software industry.
Okay.
I built a software tech company, sold it to Instacart.
No way.
And got really excited about food and the future of food. And everyone was getting into this alternative protein category. And the more I started talking to people about what they were starting, everyone would talk about the ingredients. No one would talk about how they were made.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was a huge opportunity to create a new manufacturing technology that could unlock some of these problems. So,
as an interesting side note, I realized when I left the airport yesterday, I'd been traveling for 12 hours for random reasons and had no food and no plans. And I used Instacart from the taxi or the Uber to send food to the hotel, and it arrived right when I did.
You know what's crazy about that? That's that
Just
example.
that I needed some stuff in the room,
So I remember back when we started our e-commerce grocery company, which was like in 2011.
Yeah.
It reminds me of where like plant-based as a category is right now. Everyone told me back in 2011, they said, Chris, no one's going to ever buy their groceries online. And 5 years later, it's just like ubiquitous, right? Now you're doing exactly what you just described. I think you'll see the same thing out of the plant-based category. You have people that just either they want to eat seafood and they can't because they're allergic, or they want to sort of space things out. So it's not like people are against eating these products. It's just we need to meet customers where they want to be.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you can't give the customer what they want, they're not going to come back, or they're not going to start in the first place. What was like one of the bigger challenges you faced as you were developing the products?
Salmon is by far. So our first product is a salmon filet.
I saw it, and if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known.
It's insane. So we spent a huge amount of time on getting the look and the cook right. A lot of people focus on just taste and texture. And that sort of diminishes the importance of the experience for the chef. So remember how you've got the external shape? That was a lot of work, especially getting those white lines to look like the real thing.
Yeah, what is that? It's crazy.
So we developed a whole new manufacturing process to make that work. It's not 3D printing. And we did it.
It is not.
It is not 3D. Yeah. 3D printing doesn't scale, by the way. So the whole idea is, how can we make those lines in a way that gives that authentic experience, and they also melt so that the thing, when they melt it, flakes apart, so you get that flake in your mouth.
So it has to be cooked.
It has to be cooked. We have a smoke, though, We have smoked salmon that we've
nice.
started selling. We're starting to pilot it actually here at the show.
Does it need to be refrigerated?
We sell it frozen.
Yeah, frozen. Okay.
But you can
I
cook
didn't
from
see
frozen.
that. I have to go back and try that.
Yeah. We sell it like in sous vide bags, so you can sous vide it. You can open it up. You can cook it from frozen. You can do whatever you want, just like you would with real salmon.
Okay. What can you tell me about the process, or is it like?
Yeah, I can tell you a lot. I mean, I can nerd out, as much as you'd like. So we developed this whole new process because every other plant-based product on the market uses this technology called extrusion.
Okay. I don't know a lot about it. So.
Extrusion comes from like pasta making and cereal making. They like push stuff through like tubes and use like heat and stuff. It really limits the amount of applications that can be served. So we developed this technology called directional freezing.
Okay.
So you basically make like a gel, like you would with Jell-O, sort of like similar to making Jell-O, and we freeze it in a specific way that gives it structure and texture. And then we have this way to infuse a lot of the proteins, fats, and flavors into it, into that gel, and that's why it ends up looking raw, and you can cook it and transform from raw to cooked.
Wow. How long is the entire process?
It's like 12 hours.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's easy to scale, right?
That's what we're trying to prove out. Yeah, we do all our own manufacturing.
Who's your target customer? And I don't mean the person that would consume it, but like how do you get it to the consumer?
So we're selling purely through food service right now.
Okay. So it's something that shows up on restaurant menus. Then.
Exactly. Yeah, and it could be like bigger, corporate food service environments as well. A lot of these places are telling us that they want stuff that have better ingredient decks, right? Yeah. No allergens, so we're allergen free. There's no soy in our products. There's no methyl cellulose. And the whole idea is service a need that hasn't been met. So a lot of food service operators don't want to just sell another burger or like a junk food product like a sausage or a nugget. They want something that's more center of plate protein. So we're starting to sell only through food service. And the idea is that we can take that feedback and continuously make our product better because we own our own manufacturing process. So
when you're like a Cisco US Foods type food service, as an example.
Yep.
So that means they have to have a customer that's like, we need plant-based products because our customers want that.
Correct.
So that's helpful because you don't have to do the marketing as much if it's already there.
Well, we try to also be good partners. So when Cisco says, hey, we've got a customer like down here in Delaware that wants a demo, we'll go and we'll assist the Cisco rep to go and do demos, bring out a few different products. Because some of this stuff is like so new. So we try to be as hands-on and helpful as we can be.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You had mentioned when we talked earlier about omega-3s and protein.
Yeah.
Like talk a little bit about that too.
So, I mean, why do you
eat salmon,
right?
Like,
what's a lot of the plant-based products out there, they have like no protein or no nutritional benefit. It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
You're eating water basically.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Doesn't make any sense to me. If someone's going to eat a plant-based option, there has to be a real benefit, right? If you're, in theory, there's some sort of trade-off. It's not going to be exactly the same. So why are you going to do it? So we're trying to give people the same amount of omega-3s, a huge amount of protein, but no mercury, no microplastics, no antibiotics, right?
Right.
I'm not saying don't eat salmon, but if you love salmon, probably shouldn't eat it every day. You can space this in that you don't get mercury poisoning.
So, do you see this eventually becoming a product that would be sold in a store, like a Costco as an example?
Absolutely.
Okay, is that part of a bigger plan for you?
Part of the long-term plan.
When did you start the company again?
4 years ago.
So it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
What's the biggest struggle you've had outside of developing it, I guess?
So we're not just making the product itself, we're also creating the manufacturing technology and the assembly line. So we kind of see our product as not the end products, it's actually the machine that makes all these products.
And that's all like your stuff that
we own that, and eventually our goal is not just to sell products through the New School Foods brand, but to also open up that technology to other manufacturers so that we can create new products that they weren't able to make before. So
that's brilliant.
So that scaling up a whole new manufacturing technology it's not easy.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say we're famous, our restaurant's famous for seafood trays. So customer comes in, they buy everything by the pound at the showcase, they bring it to our kitchen, and then we can add bell pepper, tomato, onions, a loaf of garlic bread, different seasonings, served on trays for the family to enjoy. And at one point, I created a frozen meal version of it. I created two versions. I had a frozen meal version, but we also had we have a very heavy Latino customer base. Okay. So one guy came to us and goes, I work at this Mexican grocery store chain. And I've got, out of the deli section, I have a carne asada meal for $9.99 for a family of 4, a pollo asado. I don't have a seafood one. So I'm like, well, I'm developing a frozen version. No, we went fresh.
Yeah.
And I realized when I was doing that, we had to figure out how to make that without, nowhere near what you're doing, but it was not easy to figure out. How are we going to put this together? How are we going to, we don't have a HACCP plan. What's SQF, whatever, I don't know.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the frozen one was moving in towards bigger companies like Sam's Club and Costco.
Right.
And they wanted all that stuff.
Of course.
So I was like, these guys just want us to put everything in a plastic bag and drop it off at the store. These guys wanted like so many levels of safety, really, which is how it should be. And it was like, I'm thinking about what you had to go through to develop that and put it in food service.
Oh yeah, it's
like I've played with the idea of going back to this. Like I was on QVC at one point with the version of our shrimp. I took all the other stuff out.
Yep.
So it was just shrimp.
Yep.
And a seasoned butter, cardboard, plastic.
But ready to serve?
Well, it was raw. So
okay.
But if you didn't know how to make shrimp, because people don't know how to make seafood. This is where I was going to go next. Like people are scared to make seafood.
They are.
I know how they're
It is
scared
scary.
to make a plant-based one. It's like, is it the same thing? For this one, all you had to do was cut the bag open, put it in a frying pan for a few minutes until the shrimp were done.
Yep.
It was a no-brainer.
Yep.
Problem was this QVC, by the time you make a product that's maybe $3 or $4, but by the time you're selling it on QVC, it's like 60 because of all this markups along the way.
Right.
And they're like, you're a great salesperson, we'd love you to come back, but that didn't sell. I go, because it's $60. It's like 4 ounces of shrimp.
That's a little expensive.
I have to figure out a
shrimp,
different way to do this. But those are sort of my experiences in trying to manufacture. Because even on the frozen, we had to figure out, well, we got seasoning, it's got to go into a pouch. That's 3 companies.
Yeah, and
oil. Who does oil in a pouch? 3 companies. You know, so.
But that convenience, there's so much value to the customer these days. Everyone's sort of like time starved.
In your case, are you doing it all internal, or you have to outsource it to different people?
Right now we do everything internal except for our smoked salmon. So it turns out that you can slice our salmon fillet, have it smoked by a third party the same way you would smoke like regular salmon.
Yeah.
So right now that's the only thing that we're outsourcing. Everything else we do in-house.
We used to do smoked salmon. It actually paid to build one of our restaurants back in the 70s and 80s.
Such a great product.
Yeah.
How come you're not doing it anymore?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons. We didn't, so again, manufacturing, we didn't evolve as the technological requirements were there. So we had these old school smokers that were like from Starkist Tuna, because Starkist Tuna was located where we were, and they were getting rid of them, I guess, or something. So we had a process. I grew up doing this as a kid. We make a brine. It was a real simple brine. It was like red wine vinegar, salt, brown sugar. I think they put food coloring in it.
Yeah.
And then you brined. We did salmon.
Cold smoke or hot smoke?
Hot.
Okay.
We did. We do halibut collars.
Yeah.
Salmon, black cod, mahi, yellowtail, tuna, albacore, a bunch of different ones. And we would sell them to different stores, and then we'd sell it in our store too. But the customer base changed over time. It evolved, and they just wanted to get the fresh seafood trays. And the percentage of people that wanted smoked seafood was like less than 1% for the time and energy I went into building it.
Yep.
And we didn't want to invest in the type of manufacturing stuff that you guys. That's why I'm listening to you saying that's not easy.
No, it's arguably crazy, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I hired somebody to come in and show us what I had to do for a week. Sat in my office for a week, which is boring. 8 hours a day, 5 days, going through what we had to do to be a HACCP. It wasn't even SQF at the time. It was just HACCP.
Yep.
And I was like, there's no way I could train this.
And it's intense. Like SQF is no joke, right?
Yeah.
And for good reason. But you got to have your QA folks. You got to have your production reps. Like it's a whole discipline, whole operation.
Yeah, and when you don't, I mean, companies like Costco do have the reputation of saying you didn't follow it. Everything's in the parking lot. Come pick it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
Congrats to get to the point you're at.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, and I think that's like part of what gives us an edge over time. Because most food companies, especially in our category, they outsource everything, right?
Yeah.
And so if you are not manufacturing your own product, you've basically given up the ability to make your product cheaper.
Yeah.
And you've given up the ability to keep optimizing your product. Like we make dozens of optimizations to our product per month. Like some that the customer may not pick up on, but we're always trying to tweak like the way in which it can cook or the way in which like the flavor will release in your mouth. Like every single piece of it, we're always trying to figure out how we can optimize. If we didn't have our own manufacturing operation, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Wow.
So our goal is like
So
a year
smart.
from now, every time you come back to this show, right, that you try our product, you're like, oh my God, it was good last year, now it's unreal, right? Like we want to keep leveling up because I think plant-based can be that, but for the most part in our category, people just kind of stopped innovating.
Yeah, That happens. You have to innovate or die. That's my theory, man.
I totally
All the time.
agree.
What about, okay, last question before we wrap this up. How is preparing your product different than one that's seafood, not plant-based seafood?
It's pretty similar. So the only major difference is our cook time is a little bit longer.
Is it? Okay.
So seafood, or like salmon in particular, you cooked around like 65 Celsius, or call that 40-ish kind of Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Whereas ours needs to be cooked to about 165 Fahrenheit or 75 Celsius. So that adds a couple minutes. That's just because it's a manufactured product. It's a HACCP requirement.
Yeah.
But aside from that, you can marinate it, you can brine it, you can season it just like you would with salmon. You can throw it into an oven. We sell it in sous vide bags, so you can sous vide it. You can really cook it any which way you want. That's the whole idea, is we want to not necessarily create a finished or composed dish. We want to give chefs a tool in their toolkit that they can take any which way.
So I can imagine like that would make a great addition to a salmon Caesar salad.
Yeah, of course.
It's all the nutrition you need, but it's plant-based. Just like the salad part.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 100% plant-based.
Exactly.
I mean, we have a great salmon Caesar, so now I'm curious. I want to test it out.
Yeah, we should give that a shot.
All right. Well, hey, it's been great to have you on.
Such a pleasure.
I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks. We just met today, guys, so this was off the cuff.
Yeah.
All right, wrapping it up. Fish Factor episode done.